You know, chums, if you're Prince Harry, you might be looking at this particular video and thinking, I look pretty good on that. I mean, it's not bad. He looks slightly different to the way that he looked when he recently came back over here to the United Kingdom. Remember, for the recent court case. In fact, Harry, I would say, almost looks, well, healthy. And of course, there's a slight sort of strange stain on his teeth. I'm not quite sure whether he's already been forced to test or eat copious amounts of Lamarck's chocolate. But either way, seemingly there's an issue, right? We'll just leave it there. But where it gets really interesting is there's a darker side behind this particular latest campaign that Lamarck has decided once again to take on board herself, ever since her entire team have now moved away and gone on to something, well, some people might say less pressurised. Meghan is not giving in, but of course, seemingly, also, she's got a few admirers still amongst the mainstream media. As ever, let me explain. Morning chums, thank you so much as ever for your time today and welcome back. Welcome one and all brand new subscribers to a wet, windy, miserable United Kingdom, it has to be said. I'm sorry if you keep saying that, but I am sick to the back teeth of this. It really is just annoying because it has not stopped for hours upon hours. And you know the sort of thing when you want to pop out to the shop and get something and stuff like that, you think, I can't even be bothered to do that because it's all the coats, the damp, the thing. Oh yes, wherever you are, and I'm sure there's some glorious places around the world that are literally enjoying wonderful weather. Do let me know. Don't rub it into the rest of the chums though. You know, by the way, are you showing your age? If I show you this, do you know what this is? Yes. Now this really shows your age, doesn't it? Someone showed me it the other day, a young person, right, in the studio, and they said, you know, what's this, Neil? And I thought, well, I said, it's a middle. And they said, middle? What do you mean middle? I said, well, you put it inside the, you know, the single that didn't have a middle, normally jukebox records. And we spoke about them recently, didn't we? And they said, oh, right. And they looked perplexed. And you think, do you people know nothing? The fun of finding a middle to put inside your record. Do you remember that, chums? It was great. And then you couldn't put it on your drop-down stereo because it just zizzed around. And they wouldn't grip, would they? I know, the pleasures that young people do not realise they're missing out on, all thanks to downloading. It's ridiculous, isn't it, when you think about it? Good fun, though, nonetheless. Now, this particular story I wanted to share with you because this is the latest video that Lamarck has decided to put out. Many people might say of Prince Harry being yet a hostage inside his own mansion. I don't know about you, I think it looks very well lit. It's clearly very much rehearsed. And oddly enough, this time around, no you know, sort of great King Vidor vibes of Princess Lily behind the camera. I think Meghan Markle's learnt that lesson that nobody, absolutely nobody believed that her daughter filmed that. But as I said, that was a clap back all thanks to Princess Charlotte doing a wonderful job at the recent Christmas Carol concert, playing the piano alongside her mother, Catherine, Princess of Wales. Meghan is seething with anybody doing anything that seemingly she could do better. So what's the background to this? Well, it's quite simple, really. You will notice a couple of things, right? Harry purposely asks for the white chocolate. Now, when you look into the branding of this, the white chocolate is not selling well. I don't know about you, I like white chocolate, so I don't understand, but apparently this is the least favourite. The thing for me with the chocolate would be the flour sprinkles. I mean, imagine that gritted in your teeth. It's a bit like Golden Crunch, isn't it? Without the niceties, you know? But yeah, Harry, whether he likes white chocolate or not. Now, the other elements of this, and this is the important bit, their new team behind this, right, whatever she's doing, they've decided that Lamarck herself isn't shifting the product. She can stand there with a bunch of balloons and people hoping that maybe a gust of wind might take her off into the air, never to be seen again. Jesting, of course, Lamarck, but you know what I'm saying, these ideas are not working. The ideas really that sort of take off are when she gives us an adorable glimpse into the invisible children of Harry, right? That's the deal that people go, right, you know, and clearly those particular images didn't make the headlines. Her new team have been very, very forceful in many respects of sort of saying you need to step back as the entrepreneur, the founder, the female founder, and all of that sort of stuff, and they basically get somebody else to front the campaign. Now, you will have seen there's been a lack of interest in people coming forward to front any campaign for Lamarck. You don't see any of them scooping jams out anymore, do you? No, not bothered about that. Who's on tap? Who costs nothing? Who's invested the most? That's right, Harry. You'll do. Sit there, I'll film that. Nicely cropped, of course, so we don't get any of the recent alarming pictures that upset him about his hair loss. And the other thing you'll notice is that she does never reciprocate and say, I love you too. He says it, she doesn't, right? It's always him that has to look like the begging bowl. Here's where it's interesting though, because certain particular organisations over here are still going along with the absolute claptrap that Lamarckle is a successful entrepreneur. If Netflix have pulled out, you're not successful, right? So consequently, why would a news organisation like this then go on to reprint and say things like a sweet video, the chocolate bar, everything is gushing in their favour? I'll tell you why, because they have been approached by those particular new people and said, if you write favourable things, we might give you some exclusives. Yeah, maybe even an interview. I really don't see that happening on that particular channel, do you? But this is how stupid the mainstream media is, because by writing these positive things and by saying Meghan's a successful, she sold elements of all this jam, etc., etc., we know that's totally not true. But of course, you know, these people still believe that they're in with a shout. And if you watch that particular footage of that particular channel, you can see they're forever gushing about Lamarckle. More importantly though, Meghan herself is hoping to shift a shed load of this stuff, which has now been removed from St Netflix Towers back into the Montecito mansion stroke garage in order for Valentine's Day. And Prince Harry, everything is resting on him as if he could manage now to do this. You will remember, of course, that right now they don't feel it's a complete kickback at all against them, simply because with Sarah, the Duchess of York, utilising her title for books, well, how on earth would they now dare come after Prince Harry flogging chocolate and doing speeches for less than £47,000? Not bad money, but a far cry from the millions that were offered a few years back. It's enough to make you turn to chocolate, right?